Welcome to The Clean Slate with your hosts, Daniel Garza and Carson Phillips, providing you with movie news, reviews, and more. Sit back, relax, and don't forget to go to the concessions to get your popcorn and drinks. For your entertainment, this is The Clean Slate Podcast.
Welcome back to The Clean Slate Podcast. I'm Carson Phillips. That's, what's your name?
Daniel Garza.
Daniel Garza. He's the evil twin. I'm the good twin.
Yes.
They're both kind of evil. Anyways, this is The Clean Slate Podcast. So, we're watching 31 horror films. We're on day 5. It's been a good week for us. This is going to be, our first week doing video, and I'm excited to end the week and then head into the weekend with more movies. But this one's a kind of a childhood classic. I don't know when I first watched this, but
this was
House of Wax.
Yeah, House
also
of
a remake,
Wax, guys. Interesting.
This remake of a Vincent Price film.
This is probably the Pretty Boy remake that this is what 2005 horror movies was all about, because you had this movie,
Just
you had
crappy movies.
Valentine's Day. Remember that one horror
My
movie?
Bloody Valentine.
No, it's the Valentine's Day movie. I think it's I forget. I'll look it up. But
My
there's
Bloody
that
Valentine.
one. Oh, My Bloody Valentine. I don't know why I thought you said a name.
I just said that.
I thought you said a name. My Bloody Valentine. You had the Friday the 13th, the new one that came out in 2009, I think. So this was a classic.
There was a couple.
Pretty boy movie, because you had Chad Michael
this
Murray,
came out,
which was so random. You have Paris Hilton, Alicia Cuthbert, Jared Padalecki, who, if you don't know,
I feel like Paris Hilton's more random,
is the main character of Supernatural, and then Robert Richard.
Yeah.
So fun cast. I mean, it's a fun cast. But let's get into
good
this
in
movie.
this, though.
No, I know
good.
that, but they're there because they're pretty. Because I feel like horror movies nowadays are just random people. They just
they're good actors now.
No, they're good actors, sure, but they're not A-list actors. Which Chad Michael Murray, Paris Hilton, and Alicia Cuthbert were A-list
now
actors.
They are.
No, back then they were. Yeah, I think they were.
I think they're just known.
That's what. Okay.
They weren't A-list known, though. Okay, but
Okay.
I'm saying, if you watch the most recent Quiet Place, which we already reviewed,
Yes.
and compare it to this, those are, Hollywood, famous, big-time actors.
Yeah.
And these are, this is for the kids.
Yeah. Well, the teens. Yeah. Because Chad Michael Murray was in the Cinderella Story, and everybody loved him.
That's fair. But
Anyway.
that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the logline for House of Wax. A group of teens are unwittingly stranded near a strange wax museum and soon must fight to survive and keep from becoming the next exhibit. Well, I feel like that just ruins the whole movie right there. It spoils the whole movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Spoiler alerts ahead, by the way.
Yes.
We should probably start saying that, since we might have a bigger audience now. Or smaller. Who knows?
You know what? We say that in hopes. By the way, I still can't log in to
the podcast thing?
Yeah, I can't.
We have 2 listeners. I'm just kidding.
That's crazy.
Wow.
All right, give us a breakdown of this movie.
I mean, that is the plot. I don't need to explain anymore.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we'll make this short and sweet then. Likes and dislikes.
So, likes, this has the same quality that, Saw does, the first Saw.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's not that good, but visually, the kills and murder are pretty great. They're pretty horrifying. Someone's Achilles tendon gets sliced.
Stop.
And the noises I made in response to that, and Alyssa made, we were both this is disgusting. And we know it was super cheesy at the same time, but these movies, these early 2000s horror films, have this griminess that I feel like most recent films are missing. They don't have that kind of grimy green yellow tint.
A24 does a lot.
Not all of them though, only some of them.
Talk to Me had a lot.
Talk to Me is more polished, I feel like, though.
Well, sure. Talk to Me, but Midsummer Hereditary.
Those are like good filmmakers.
Well, yeah, true.
They're just having fun with this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, so I love that. I think the visually the gore and the kills are really fun and interesting and stupid, which is kind of what you want from this. Like, this is just a fun, I guess, slasher movie. It's not technically a slasher in my opinion, but it's adjacent. Mm-hmm. And it also has like this really absurd cast of different levels of skill.
Yeah.
And you can tell. But like, Paris Hilton's hilarious in this to me. I think she's so funny in this, not by any talent of her own. So it's just fun to see her doing some of this stuff because, like, you know, everybody wants to be in a movie, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's cool.
So that's why she was here.
It's like very entertaining to see. And then just the whole like setup of the town is really fun. The plot is abysmal though. Like, this plot is so convoluted. There's like this flashback at the beginning that I feel like doesn't really make a difference. It doesn't really add up. And then there's like the whole twist in the literal last second of the movie that you're like, what? Also, every character in this has sexual energy with the one girl, the main girl.
Yeah.
Even her brother. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a little... I thought they were a couple at first. I was like, oh, they broke up. And then later he's like, we're twins. And I was like, ooh, they're twins? And I feel like the twin thing should have meant something, considering there's like a whole twin subplot in this movie. Yeah. But yeah, it's fun. It's stupid. Best soundtrack ending. Best like credits song.
Well,
of all
wasn't
time.
it My Chemical Romance?
Yeah, it was My Chemical Romance. That's as good as like the end of like Transformers with like Linkin Park.
No, 100% agree.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing. The grittiness that kind of comes with this movie just reminds you of like the horror movies that we grew up with. And you're right. I do kind of miss it because now all of these horror movies that are coming out are more like psychological horror movies than like survival horror movies. Yeah, and instead, like, you still have characters that are like, oh, our friends are missing, but, you know, hey, I'm kind of horny, so I want to have sex with you in the tent. And you just completely ignore the fact that your friends are missing. So it just kind of has that teens don't care kind of vibe to it, and sometimes those movies are fun. I will say the kind of the grotesque scenes in this of just like the initial... Okay, I'll tell you the scene that I had to close my eyes at was when...
You had to close your eyes?
Oh, dude, 100%. So the boyfriend becomes a wax figurine, so that's like the whole thing of this movie. And
that is terrifying.
When they find him, they start to try to peel off the wax, and other things start to come peeling off with it.
I don't want to talk about it.
I literally almost threw up, and I was like,
it's gross, dude. Okay,
that's disgusting.
Is genuinely scary. Like, out of everything we've watched so far, that's the scariest thing in one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like, it's so scary. I also just want to say too, I hate to interrupt you, but I'm going to. The last 20 minutes of this movie made me want to remake it, because the last 20 minutes, I don't want to spoil what happens, but you find out this whole house is made out of wax, and it's just genuinely so fun and cool, and that could be such an epic, like, if they do it again. It's going to be a third remake, but I'm so down.
Yes. Yeah, I think the worst part of this movie is at the end where Alicia Cuthbert is talking, because, right, you find out that the two killers are twins, and they were actually, what was it, like,
conjoined twins.
Conjoined twins.
Combined? You were going to say combined?
I was going to say combined, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing.
I guess, yeah.
And she's like, wait, stop. No, your brother never loved you. Yeah, you can make a choice right now. And then he just straight tries to kill her again. And you're like, oh, my God.
See, that's where I'm like, the whole beginning where they introduce one of the twins as being evil.
Yeah.
And he's not. Or, like, they both are. That makes zero sense. Why would you... like, why is that in the writing?
Because he was trying to protect his brother.
Like, you could do that.
Yeah.
You could have the one with the, like, deformity be, like, a good guy, actually. Like, that could be compelling.
Yeah, but or like a conflicted kind of, like, if he actually was a conflicted killer, like, anyway. But we're trying to make it a smart movie.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Anyway,
or like the twist at the very, very end of a certain character appearing. or you find out there's like a little mic drop moment, like there wasn't two brothers.
Oh yes, yeah.
What was the point of that?
It was so
like that doesn't add
because it just sets up for a third or a second one, and you're like, okay, cool, that doesn't happen. So,
I also feel like this probably played on the Sci-Fi Channel or Spike TV at some point.
Spike 100,
probably both.
or MTV, yeah, just any of those.
And I watched it probably on those.
Yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, this movie scare factor though, I would say about an 8.
7.
Ooh, pretty close. Yeah, this one.
I
does
jumped
get a little dicey. We're
out
slowly
of everything
getting
we've
into
watched
more.
so far.
Yeah.
I had more fun with this movie.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I think I had more fun with the Blob, but yeah, this is
That's
this
fair.
one's up
I
there.
feel like both are really fun. But
Yeah.
those are my two favorites out of this whole group, and
Yeah.
I don't know. We should do a tier list at the end, like our top 5 from the 31.
Oh, I'm so down. Yeah, because there's a lot of movies in here that we haven't seen. And guys, we are also, like, we get it that there's going to be so many movies in the month of October that we're not going to be able to review for the 31 Days of Halloween.
We might have already reviewed it.
Right, but there's quite a few that are coming out that I don't think are going to be great. So that's why
we've skipped some classics, though, too. So,
well, we also got to keep in mind that we're doing this for a couple years. So we want to be able to have some depth in our 31 days.
If we decide one year this is going to be our last year, we'll hit all the biggies.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, guys. So we got so many more. That was just the top 5, or not top 5. That was the first 5 movies of the 31 Days of Halloween. So we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Horror Madness.
That's a clean slate.